Welcome back, Guardians. Zeus here, and it's time to talk strategy. Krista has new tools on the horizon, a fresh skin, upgraded skills, and ascension powers that could reshape how she's played. But every upgrade comes with both strengths and weaknesses. In this video, we'll break down why these changes matter right now, how they interact with her classic combos, and the one key detail you need to watch out for if you plan to use her. From the last announcement, we now know that Christa will be getting a rework together with new Ascension skills. With this news, I am preparing this content so players can better understand what to expect from Christa and how these changes may affect her role in the game. To set the stage, let's go back a bit. Lars and Christa, the famous twins, were once right at the center of the Hero Wars meta. For a long time, the team composition of Aurora, Lars, Christa, Celeste, and Martha was almost unbeatable. They had the right mix of control, damage, and sustain to handle just about any situation. But then came Isaac. His debut into the game completely reshaped the battlefield. Isaac's silence and anti-magic mechanics directly targeted the twins' greatest strength, and as a result, the meta shifted away from them. What was once a dominant team became much less reliable in the face of this new counter. That said, Lars and Christa have not become weak. They remain strong heroes today, and their combined damage is still very effective. The synergy between Lars' Storm and Christa's Frozen Needles continues to punish enemy teams when timed well. What has changed is more about the environment around them. The game now has many newer heroes with extremely explosive skills, so the twins don't stand out quite as uniquely as they once did. Their combo is still powerful, but it's no longer the only way to deliver that kind of burst in the current meta. In my opinion, Christa is already strong. The upcoming skill rework and her new skin will only push her further in that direction. However, her lack of presence in many teams lately is not because she or Lars are weak, it is only because of Isaac. He continues to be the main reason the twins are not used more often. I also agree that reworking her skills is a good decision. As the game has added layer upon layer of development, many skills that deal damage or reduce defenses have lost their balance. Adjusting Christa's abilities to fit the modern environment makes sense, even if she was already powerful. One of the most interesting changes is the new healing effect tied to Marks of Water. Through generous Marks of Water, Ascension II, allied heroes will heal for 50% of the magic damage they deal whenever they strike enemies affected by Marks of Water. To put this into perspective, in the past, when running twins teams, we often had to use 2 healers to keep the lineup alive. With this change, Christa provides built-in sustain for her allies just by marking enemies and letting them hit those targets. It's a big shift, but it also comes with a very important interaction to understand. There is an automatic bad synergy between Augustus and Christa here. Augustus converts magic damage into pure damage. Since this new effect specifically heals allies based on the magic damage they deal, that healing will not trigger if the damage is converted into pure. In other words, when Augustus is present, Christa's new sustain mechanic will stop working. The only time Augustus and Christa could be considered good together is in the very specific case where the enemy team has Sebastian. In that matchup, Augustus' superconductivity skill can be countered by Sebastian, and the synergy may make sense. Outside of that, combining Augustus and Christa will usually block the healing effect you would otherwise gain. Another new element is Volatile Crystallization, Ascension IV. With this skill, when Christa's ice block ends, it bursts and damages all nearby enemies. Like most upgrades, this one comes with both pros and cons. On the positive side, Christa will deal more damage than she used to, turning her defensive shelter into an offensive strike. On the negative side, there is the possibility this extra burst could help the enemy, much like Kira's mechanics sometimes do. For example, if the burst damage ends up charging enemy energy at the wrong time, it could backfire. Until we see the exact numbers in action, it is hard to judge whether this trade-off will be significant, so we will have to wait and see how it performs in real battles. Christa is also mentioned to be receiving a new magic penetration skin. If it is a normal skin, we can expect it to give around 10,000 magic penetration. Christa currently has 3,490 magic penetration at maximum development, so with this skin, the total would rise to roughly 14,000. At first glance, this may not sound like a huge number in today's game, but we have to look at it in combination with another important change. Her Chains of Frost skill is now twice as effective at reducing magic defense, which in practice is about 16,000 magic defense reduction. When you put these two factors together, 14,000 magic penetration plus 16,000 magic defense reduction, the result is significant. Christa will now be able to deal full damage to most physical damage dealers. This is not a small improvement, it directly addresses a previous limitation and makes her damage much more reliable against a large group of heroes you face regularly. I want to go a bit deeper into the rework of Marks of Water. As it stands, applying Marks of Water does not give any direct benefit to Christa herself. All of the benefits go to Lars. With Marks of Water on a target, Lars deals 220% more damage and his stuns last 110% longer. That is why the marks have always been central to the twins' synergy. With the rework, Marks of Water will no longer be considered negative effects. This means they cannot be removed by Sebastian's Ode to Serenity skill, which is a notable improvement. However, this does not mean that Lars will now land guaranteed stuns every time. The mechanics still require proper setup and execution. Because only Lars benefits directly from Marks of Water, only two of his skills actually deal damage. The real burst in twins compositions has always come from the combination of Lars' Storm with Christa's Frozen Needles, backed up by Lars providing magic penetration support to Christa's ultimate. That remains true even with these updates. What changes is that Christa now adds more damage on her own, more sustain for the team, and more penetration pressure. Still, when you look at the entire picture, Christa's improvements are very good but not game-breaking. They strengthen her role, but they do not suddenly push her into the role of a meta-breaker. This analysis naturally leads us to the future. We still do not know what Cascade will bring to the table. If I had to make a smart guess, I would expect that Marks of Water will also be applied to Cascade's skills. If that turns out to be true, then Cascade will be able to deal more damage when paired with Christa, creating new possibilities for the twins. But until Cascade is fully revealed, this is only speculation. The true value of Christa's rework will be completely clear only after Cascade makes its debut in the game. Looking at today's meta, there is also the influence of Lyria to consider. With the rise of Lyria teams, Isaac is often left outside of defensive setups. This creates openings for magic heroes like Christa to shine on offense once again. However, on defense, Christa still struggles against Isaac. That is a reality that no skill upgrade or new skin will change. As long as Isaac exists with his silence and anti-magic mechanics, Christa's defensive value will remain limited. This is why we need to be patient and see how Cascade's skills are implemented, whether they mirror the mobile version or take a different direction, and whether they might even provide new answers to Isaac. So, to wrap it up, Christa's rework brings new healing through Marks of Water, extra burst from Ice Block, a big push in magic penetration with her new skin, and a stronger defense reduction from Chains of Frost. These upgrades make her more dangerous and more reliable, but her old counter in Isaac still looms large. The real test of her future will come once Cascade enters the game and we see how everything connects. Now I want to hear from you. What do you think about Christa's changes? Do you see her making a comeback in your teams, Or do you think Isaac will continue to hold her back? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below, because your perspective adds a lot to this community. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next guide, update, or strategy. And remember, knowledge is power in Dominion. The more we learn, the stronger we all become. Salute and friendship.